Hey there. Okay, so tonight's homework is going to be on page 21 and 22, and it's all the problems. So we did the first couple of problems in class today, so I'm going to enlarge that. The first one is rename 6/10 using other place values. So here I had 6/10. If you notice that this is in blue, and that's what we're basing it on, its place value. So I know that 6/10 or 6 times 1/10. I'm going to look at this next one, and I'm going to highlight that part right there. Let me just highlight that in yellow, and that is 60. So this is now going to be what? Absolutely 60 hundredths. Move that over a bit. Or it's the same as 60 times 1/100. Look at the next one. I'm going to go ahead and highlight all in blue. So this is 600. It's what I'm looking at. So this one here, I'm going to have 600. Very good. It's thousandths because it's in the place value of thousandths. This is the same as 600 times 1. I'm going to use a backslash because I don't have the line that goes through it, if that's okay, because they still mean the same. So this is 600 times 1/1000. Let's look at this next one. We're going to rename, 2/10 using other place values. So here they had the 2, which would be 2/10 or 2 times 1/10. I'm going to highlight the blue section here, and that is 20 that I have. So that's going to represent 20 what? Very good. Because the last digit in that place value is the names that place value. So it's 20 hundredths, which is also the same as what? 20 times what? Very good. Let me do this one. Here we go. 1/100. Very good, because it's hundredths. Let's look at this last one. I'm going to go ahead and highlight all of the numbers or the digits in the blue. So I have 200. The last digit is in the thousandths, so it's 200 thousandths. Cannot forget that THS. That's super important because I don't have 200,000 as in whole numbers. I have the fractional part. So that's 200 out of 1,000ths. So here, this will be the 200 times 1/1000. I'll just go ahead and put in my comment. All right, so that's what this part will look like. Any questions, please let me know. You can leave a message or send me a private message if you're still having problems. Here, this is going to write the number in 2 other forms. So one of the things you can do it in expanded notation or expanded form or in written form. So I'm going to go ahead and start the first one off let me do the written form. I'm going to say the whole number, so it's 632, and then identify the place value, and because it's the digit in the last place value. So this is going to be 632, and that 2 lands in the thousandths place value, so that's how I identify that. Another way of doing it, we had talked about expanded notation, and the notation is multiplying that by its place value and adding them all up together. So I have 6. Let me put that in parentheses first. So 6 times The 6, there are no whole numbers, so I don't have to worry about that. Otherwise, it'll be 0 times the zeros in the 1 place value, 0 times 1. It's still 0, so I don't need to do that. But I do have the 6 in the tenths place value, so I can represent that by 0.1. That in parentheses. Add. The 3 is in the hundredths place value, so I can have 3 times, and then it's 0.01 for the hundredths. Let me put those in parentheses. And then I'm going to add, come over here, and I have 2, put that in parentheses, times, and that's in the thousandths place value, and that's what that would look like. You can also do it in fractional form as well. So I'm going to do this one in written form. So I have 4, and I'm going to say that whole number. So I'm going to highlight because this is the whole number that I'm going to be saying. So it's 290, that's not 90. Sorry about that. 90, not 90, but 93 thousandths. Now I'm going to write this. Let's do this is again, this is expanded. I'm going to write this down so that you know notation. And I'm going to do this next one in expanded form. I'll just bring that down just a bit. So here this would be 4 plus, and I'm going to write 2 tenths plus 9 hundredths plus, and then it's 3 thousandths, and that's going to be in expanded form. That way you can see the difference. All right, so that's 2 different ways of doing it. You can also do it in fractions too. So you can have that 2 times 1 over 1,000, that's 3,000. Right here can be 1 over 100, and this 6 would be 6 over 1/10. So let's look at number 5. A weather reporter reads aloud the number of meters of snowfall. The amount is 103 thousandths meters. What words should the reporter use on the air to explain the amount of snowfall? So we're going to write this out in written form. This is the standard form. So that's standard form. So what would he write? What would he say it? How would we say that? So we're going to say it's 103 thousandths of a meter. And that's how we would read it. Let's look at number 6. Emil says that the snow on the ground is 5 times 100th meter high. How can this number be expressed as a decimal? Okay, so looking at what you did up here, you're going to follow that same expression. So here would simply be, because I know that the 5 is going to be in the hundredths place value, I have 0 wholes. I have no whole numbers, nothing in the ones place. Decimal, I don't have anything in the tenths place, but I do have a 5 in the hundredths place. So this is going to be 5 hundredths meter. Okay, let's look at number 7. What is the number 5 and 923 thousandths? Which number is in the thousands place value? Very good. It's going to be the 3. So I'm going to mark that one up. So the 3 is in the, let me kind of see if I can do it this way. In the thousands place value. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that so that you could see it, because that's what we were looking at. Number 8, which number has the same value? Same value means that it's equal to as 7 times 1,000. So it's going to be 7 thousandths. Very good. So the answer is B, 7 thousandths. Good job. All right, let's look at number 9. Which value correctly represents the number that is 10 times as great as 581 thousandths? Okay, so I'm going to write this out over here. I have 500, so it's going to be 0 ones, 581 thousandths, and it's going to be 10 times as great. Now remember, we're going to move it. When we say that it's 10 times, let me go to my highlighter. We did this last week. 10 times as great means that the number is going to be larger. So the number is going to get larger because we're doing 10 times as much, right? So that decimal is going to move over to the right. That didn't work out. Let me erase that part. So we have this decimal here, and it's going to move over. So if that's the case, then I end up having 5 and, let me go ahead and type that out. What do you think it is? Very good. So if I move it over to the right, 5 and, I wish that would go away, 81 hundredths. So the answer then would be A. We can eliminate, process of elimination really quickly here. Now we know that it's not going to be 581 wholes. That's way, way too big. So I'm going to eliminate that one. It's just too big. We know that it can't stay the same because we said it was 10 times the amount. What happened here? I thought I wrote it times there. So that doesn't work out there. And it's not 500. So it wasn't 100 times. It was just 10 times. So that absolutely doesn't work. Okay, let's look at number 10. Which number has the same value as 3 times 1/10? Yeah, very good. It's going to be C because it's the 3 is in the tenths place value. And it's going to be C. Good work. Let's move over to the next one. Okay, so now let's look at 11. Jack's baby sister crawled 3 5/10 meters long. Oh, how sweet. Okay, so let me go ahead. Which number represents that distance? So I'm going to have 3 5/10 meters long. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I have the 3, right? We said that the and is a decimal. So I want you to get into the habit that when you see that decimal here, you'll put a dot. I don't want a square, I want a circle. So let me erase that. Okay, I want it just to fill in. That's so funny. I thought it was going to give me a dot. I just wanted a little dot. Okay, so put a decimal right above that. That way you know it. Okay, so let's come back over. So I have 3 and it's 5/10 meters today. So how far did Jack's baby sister crawl? Yes, and that's how we would write it. It would be A. Can't quite get that today. All right, so let's look at number 12, multi-step. Leon measured the distance each of his 4 toy cars rolled across the floor. So guys, you'll be doing this in science when you're studying potential and kinetic energy. Well, at least I hope that you do this one because that was pretty awesome. Which car measurement has a 4 in the thousandths place value? So I want to highlight that part there. I have a 4 in the thousandths place value to represent the shortest distance. All right, well, let's do process of elimination. I'm looking at my thousandths. Let me go ahead and highlight thousandths place, right? So I'm going to take this one. This is in the thousandths. That's not a 4, so I'm going to eliminate that. There's a 4 here. Let me change the color. Okay, so that's a possibility. But oh, look, there's another 4. And then I have a 3, which is not in the thousandths, okay? So that's not going to work. So now let's take a look. I have 2 4s in the thousandths, but it says that it represents the shortest distance. So which one has the shortest? So if this is what's confusing for you, I want you to draw out, like if you had car 1, and here's car 2. Car 1 went 714 thousandths. Car 2, whoops, only went 224 thousandths. So drawing out a picture, doesn't it help you to figure out who had the shortest distance that rolled? Absolutely, because my 2 is less than my 7. Let me go ahead and highlight that part. Because the 2 is less than my 7, then the answer here is going to be C. Okay, because I have 2 that's less than 7. 7 is the greater length. So the answer is C. And that's it for tonight's homework. Guys, we're going to go over tomorrow we're going to cover comparing decimals. So I hope that you understand. And then probably Wednesday, we're going to have just a little bit of a quiz going over what we've learned so far this week and last week. All right. Take care. See you later. Bye.